I realize living life is not simple or easy, but I want to keep talking like this on the YouTube because there's so many interesting things going on. I'm not saying everything is fine. I have difficulties here and there, but I start to, long years of work with Zen and meditation, but even I feel like I'm starting again, always starting. Just came back from Joshua Tree National Park in the desert, in the hot heat. Had a great time. At age 74, it's interesting to spend so much time in that heat, doing nothing like a lizard. Be quiet, but I got few books and I found so fascinating that I can talk more about. But the point of this video is about the viewpoint of how we may see the situation. And this is a little complex way to explain because it's easy to say you change the viewpoint, but actually how it happens can make a big difference. And then perhaps one thing I can do is to have that notion of the viewpoint, but then go through some examples that I can relate to, at least in my case, that I got benefit from. One of the first one is my Vipassana meditation experience. I was going through this 10-day course. On the 8th day, I was going crazy. It's so hard. And I still determined to go through it. And the point of this viewpoint that I want to mention is that there's a term in Japanese, jibo jibaku. By yourself, you tie up your rope. You're just tying up your rope harder and harder. And that's what exactly was going on. I was having a pain, and as I tried to escape the pain, it get harder and harder. Nowhere to go, and harder and harder. So I thought I cannot stand anymore. But for whatever the reason, because I was determined to sit through it, somehow idea popped up. Is it because I'm trying to escape the pain? Is that the reason why I'm feeling the pain? That thought popped up. And then I see myself switching my thinking and the way looking at the situation by perhaps relaxing my body, or instead of pulling, it's kind of like a pushing, go the other direction. It was pushing, then you're pulling. Anyway, changing the perspective. When I did that, something major awakening experience happened. And I can relate that because Eckhart Tolle said the same kind of idea. In his case, he said he can't stand any more about himself. And then he thought, don't like myself. Who is the I and who is myself? Is that two eyes? So he started to look beyond himself to find the relationship of me and the other me. So similar to my case, but in a different way, by changing the perspective, he went through that awakening experience. Amazing. It's so amazing. Yeah, we tie our knot by ourselves. Just you let go. So that may be a little bit extreme, but yet interesting experience. But I can share more about other persons that I pick up the different perspective. I read many books and I met many people. And let me talk about Nakayama-san. He's into Zen and creativity. And what I can say is his behavior, his presence, his way of solving problem, writing books, and sharing that with me. He had the sense of the presence, very calm, quiet, and logical, not rushing. Every movement, there was something in there. He passed away 20 years ago. But when I spend time with him, I can picture in my eyes, in our eyes, about him, how he sat and talked and shared, and we had the conversation. Just one little thing, but he said one day, "Look at the tulip, it's so wonderful, the color. It's amazing, why is it so?" Or something like that, little monologue. And I wasn't sure what he's talking about at the time, but I know what he's talking about now. The way of the universe manifesting is amazing. Such wonderful situation happens. And those posture, everything was something I can now relate to. How do I relate to that? Because I can feel the way he was talking, and I can almost imitate what he may have said and thinking and all of that, because of the fact that I spend so much time with him and read many of his books. So his viewpoint, his way of life, his posture, the breathing and eye movement and the characterization of the symptom and how he addressed the issue is very close to me. And I read many times his books. I have maybe 15 of them. He gave all of them to me. And even having read, say, 100 times, I still find amazing, simple point. It just happened when I was reading this book about Dogen. He wrote about Zen Master Dogen. And it's talking about there's a way of letting go, so to speak. And if you know it, he was saying, it's just a matter of practice or something like that. And it's a ridiculously simple statement, but it was page 3 or page 5 early on. And I felt that's exactly that. And if I only know that, that can make a huge difference. Because the repetition, the skill development, and if you continue, you can make a breakthrough. It's simple. There's no other easy way because we have to change the habitual pattern. Just like in the case of Eckhart Tolle or myself. Under the pain, difficulty, we respond, perhaps in the wrong way. So if you know how, a little bit, then you can make a big difference. And if you gain more differences made like that, one after the other, the skill becomes yours, and that's what he was talking about. I can think of Matsushita. What would be the example for him? I've read many of his books too, and his writing, I was reading his book, one of the book about the Sunao, Meek mind, truthful mind, flexible mind. whatever the term is. And when I was reading, he's looking at the situation, all different angles of what that mind, Meek mind or Sunao mind is. And what was the other one? What's the benefit of it? And if you don't have the mind, then what kind of a problem you have it? And then how do you cultivate such mind? The 4 segments of it. Just for first 2 segments I went through in the desert was just fascinating. I could tell how deeply he felt and studied to write a book of that magnitude. And I could relate to that. Once I get relate to that, I can go deeper into it. That's as simple as that. And the reason is that he could show me, looking at the situation from different angles, as if he's experienced all of that. Valuable words. I felt something, but I didn't get the depth of his writing early on, even if I read the book maybe 20, 30 times. I'm so happy that he's showing me that way. That's his way. So his perspective, his internal working of how he can have the benefit of that mind and practice it and cultivate it. So having a reference like that helps, as if I am in his shoes. And there's one other person, this is the Kiwi guy in New Zealand. I don't know why, but we have good conversation. He's about my age, and his presence and the behavior by itself is something that I appreciate. Why it is so, I don't know. But more I know about what this is, the subject I'm talking about is, and learn more about it, more I can relate to many other people's point of view, so that I'm not contained by my own view, but I'm more connected to various viewpoints. So having those developed and will be developed much further, which I can do because I'm so interested in this process, then I can relate to Nakayama, Matsushita, Daisetz, and others. What about Daisetz? I learned a lot from actually Miss Okamura, saying that Daisetz's breathing was very calm, quiet, as if nothing is happening, and his relaxed posture, no tense posture. Just few of those pointers was stimulating me, thinking of my posture, the stance, how tense I am or not tense, all of that. And I can go on and on, but I want to come revisit this, because I'm sure as I gain those insights from my own and from others, and relating to others and seeing their viewpoint and why they are saying it and what's so beneficial and stimulating me, I can go deeper and deeper and practice it. More ideas comes up, and more I want to talk, and more I have actually quite a few YouTube video materials in my computer, many more than I can cost. But I want to keep working on it because I know the step of what I'm doing is keep me on track to some direction, quite open direction actually. And because of the amazement that I can capture more, I want to keep on talking into the voice memo and posting. It takes time, but it doesn't matter to me because it's so important for me to do my best and appreciate life and learn and grow and keep on doing that. As simple as that. And I don't know why, but I fell into this setting of where I am. So, not think of the issue at hand by one angle. Don't get fixed in my angle or his angle. It's just a one angle out of many to choose from. And to know the truth requires us to see from various angles. I heard that was Buddha's word. I didn't verify that, but it doesn't matter. Because of my experience, I can tell. I lived in Japan, I lived in the States, so I can see the world more three-dimensional. And if we can keep on doing, and then we get to see the shady part, that area that I'm not observing quite well, comes out. And that's a discovery, and that's enriching my life. And I feel great about it, that I can be transparent, so to speak, to see other people's viewpoint. I'm not like that. I'm not there yet, but I feel like I can connect in many ways from those information, the people, and get this learning and being able to communicate, have fun. So, just a quick summary of a little talk about the viewpoint, references. Other people's reference become you because we came from the same origin. All good that happened, we can relate to that and we can be that. Of course, you may have the sad situation, we can go to that sad situation too. But the reason why it's sad can be also discovered by having this open mind awareness, so that we can be all happy, happier, in the right direction to live our life. So 5 days of desert, came back. I feel my journey continues, and hope I keep on moving in this way. Thank you.